So good morning class. Chalo revision. HUF. When HUF will be considered as resident? Only resident. Only resident. Resident. Pakka in India. Fully or partly? Partly. We are only talking about resident or not. When HUF will be resident or non-resident? If decisions are taken from India, either fully or partly, it will be considered as resident, otherwise non-resident. Now, what will be the additional condition?
Of 10 years preceding to previous year. If he is in India for 730 days or more in last 7 years preceding to previous year. If both the conditions are satisfied.
But for whom? HUF. HUF or Karta? હોય જ ને આ આવ્યું HUF is separate legal entity. Separate legal entity means it is separated from individual person. What is the meaning of HUF? Hindu undivided family. Who will be there? Husband, wife and their children. Okay. Who will be Karta? HUF. Karta means the main person, husband will be the Karta. So, if all the persons, all the people, husband, wife and their children are doing one business in the name of HUF, so we have to identify whether HUF is resident or not, or resident if it is resident and ordinarily resident or not. No, obviously it is written in HUF that the male candidate will be the Karta. No, all will be the co-partners. Husband means wife and their children will be the co-partner. Sorry? No, the decision can be taken by wife. It is mutual agreement. Clear? Whether it is whether husband or not, wife or not, what we have to consider, whether it is resident or not, or ordinarily resident or not. Okay? So the husband decision लेके wife ये तुम्हारा प्रश्न. We are not concerned. चलो. Residential status of partnership firm, AOP, BOI, association of person and body of individual. Now it will be very easy because there will be only two concepts. Either it will be resident or it will be non-resident. That's it. First one, partnership firm, AOP, BOI would be resident in India if control and management of the affairs is situated fully or partly in India. If control and management is from India, then it is resident, otherwise it is non-resident. Where the control and management of the affairs is situated fully outside India, then firm AOP, BOI would be non-resident. Residential status of companies. Now, here a company would be resident in India in any previous year if, first one, if it is Indian company, or place of effective management, POEM, poem, place of effective management in that year is in India. In respective previous year, it is from India. For example, Reliance Industries. The promoters, directors are Mukesh Ambani. Okay, the board of directors are resident of foreign citizen. So place of management is the country from where they are residing. So the company will be non-resident. So either company should be Indian company or the place of effective management should be from India. Then and then only it will be considered as resident. Sir, place of effective management means it means a place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for conduct of business of an entity as a whole are taken or in substance made. Hmm. So place of effective management क्या होती है? Then, but first of all, company क्या is first one? Company, Indian company or not? So if company is Indian, then it is resident. Look, it is more clear by this chart. Whether first ask company is Indian company. If your answer is yes, then it is resident. That's all. If company is
Hello,
not,
sir. Hello, sir.
yes, Reena.
Sir, I'm sorry to disturb you, but you're not present at the screen.
Okay. Actually, I have presented, but there is some issue. Visible now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So, we have discussed residential status of partnership firm, when it will be considered as resident and when it will be non-resident. Association of person come together to do one business. It will be association of BOI, body of individuals. We have, I think in module 1, bifurcated. We have given the definition of AOP. We have understood what is the meaning of AOP and what is the meaning of BOI. There is a slight difference between the two. Association of person and body of individuals. Now we have discussed residential status of companies. Either the company should be Indian company or the place of management, effective management should be in India. So, is the company is an Indian company? If your answer is yes, then it is resident in India. If the answer is no, then again ask whether the place of effective management of company is in India. If answer is yes, then again it is resident. Otherwise, company will be non-resident. Clear? So you have to ask two questions. Indian company? No. Again ask. POEM? No. Non-resident. If the answer of the first question is yes, then no need to ask this second question. Wherever the place of effective management is, if the company is Indian company, then it is resident. The guidelines issued by CBDT in determination of place of effective management of a foreign company and transition mechanism for a company which is incorporated outside India, which is not been assessed tax in India earlier and has become resident in India for the first time due to application of POEM has been provided in chapter 12, 10 plus 2, Roman. BC, the same will be dealt with final level. Final level means CA final. It will be discussed in CA final. So it is not part of your intermediate or semester 3. Last one, residential status of local authorities and AJP, artificial juridical person. Local authorities and juridical persons would be resident in India if control and management of its affairs is situated fully or partly in India. If it is not in India, then non-resident. It is very easy. The most important part is residential status of individuals. Okay? Individuals and HUF, but mostly individuals questions will be there. Now, sir, we have found the residential status that Mr. Ram is resident, Mr. Syam is non-resident, Mr. Ramesh is resident but not ordinarily resident. Miss Ankita is resident and ordinarily resident. But now what? We have identified all these things. But what to do with the residential status? क्या मदद करશે આપણને? When it will be helpful? So, section number 5 provides the scope of total income. Now, scope of total income. Total income means income earned in India, income earned outside India, income earned in India but received outside India, income earned outside India, received in India, income accrue in India, income deemed to be accrue in India, income received outside India, income deemed to received outside India. All these things we will discuss now in scope of total income and when it is taxable and for whom it will be taxable. Sir, what is accrue, received, deemed to accrue, deemed to received? That we will discuss one by one. Okay, one by one. In terms of residential status of SSE, because the incidence of tax on any person depends on the residential status. MCQ can be asked. The scope of income and incidence of tax depends upon dash. First one, citizenship. Second one, residential status. Third one, type of income. Fourth one, none of the above. So it depends upon residential status. It depends upon residential status. The scope of total income of SSE depends upon the following three important considerations. First one, residential status of SSE. Second one, place of accrual or receipt of income. Accrual means earned, where you earned the income and when you have received the income. Wherever you earned and wherever you received, majority it will be same. But sometimes it happens that you earned in India, but you received in outside India. You earned in India. For example, foreign cricketer came to India for the match, but after match is completed, they left India and they received India in their respective countries. So earned in India, but received outside India. So accrue in India, received outside India. Whether actual or deemed. So deemed means you are not actually receiving in India, but it is considered, it will be considered as it is received in India. માની લેવાનું in typical Gujarati deemed income. એ માની લેવાનું કે income India ની છે. It's not like it's actually received in India, but it is considered as received in India. Means deemed to be received in India. Clear? Now, the point of time at which the income had accrued or was received by or on behalf of the SSE, the time when it is accrued or when it is received. If it falls in our previous year, then and then only it is taxable, otherwise not. Done? Now, let's discuss one by one. Resident and ordinarily resident. First of all, it is clear or not, online students? Are you with me? Are you getting this or not? Okay. In short, if I want to say for resident and ordinarily resident, all the incomes are taxable. If you are resident and ordinarily resident, then all the income will be taxable. Whether you have received in India, not received in India, whether you earned outside India, received outside India, all the income will be taxable in India. All the income will be taxable in India. That is what written in these 3 points. First point, the total income of resident SSE would under section 5 subsection 1 consist of first point, income received or deemed to be received during the previous year. income accrue or arise or deemed to accrue or arise in India during the previous year. So first point, received, deemed to be received. Second point, accrue or arise or deemed to accrue or arise in India. Third point, income which accrue or arise outside India, even if it is not received or brought to India during the previous year. Sir, બાકી શું રહ્યું આમાં તો કાંઈ નહીં. All the things are covered. Received in India, deemed to be received in India. Accrue in India, deemed to accrue in India. Received outside India, deemed to be received outside India. Accrue outside India, deemed to be accrued or arise in outside India. So in last paragraph it is written in simpler terms, resident and ordinarily resident has to pay tax on total income accrued or deemed to be accrued or received or deemed to be received in India or outside India during the relevant previous year.
Sir, suppose we need to do a US number business.
US માં તો કરવાનો. That is separate chapter. You are talking about taxability in India as well as in US.
Sorry, US નો citizen. India માં business કરું. મારે પૈસા પછી હું અહીંયા મળી જાઉં. મારે tax pay કરવાનું.
Look, first, that's why you have to first check residential status. For example, you are a businessman in US, okay? You came for the purpose of business in India, okay? Now, you have been in India for 30 days only and you left India. So, residential status will be non-resident. Now, if you are a non-resident person, then you have to check whether you have received in India or deemed to be received in India. Then and then only it will be taxable. That we will discuss later on, because right now we are talking about resident and ordinarily resident. Then we will discuss resident but not ordinarily resident. And then we will discuss for non-resident. Right now આપણે શું જોઈએ છે ખાલી resident and ordinarily resident. આના માટે શું છે? All the incomes are taxable. હવે US માં બિઝનેસ કરે છે અને 182 days or more in India માં છે, તો obviously he has earned something in India. આટલા બધા દિવસ ઇન્ડિયા શું કરે છે? Obviously for earning purpose he is here. So whatever income he earns in India, it will be taxable. Or in US it will be taxable. And if a person earns in India, in US, both, okay, and he is resident in India and resident in US, both, then there is one agreement, that is DTAA, Direct Tax Avoidance Agreement between India and US. DTAA, CA final, DTAA agreement, separate chapter is there in CA final. What is the meaning of DTAA? If you are earning in India and if you are earning in US simultaneously, you are resident of India, you are resident of US simultaneously. Now, તમે India માં tax pay કરો, US માં tax pay કરો, so double taxation, income one but tax double. You have to pay tax twice for single income. You have to pay the tax twice for single income. So to avoid this, DTAA agreement is done by India and US. So whatever tax paid in India, it is exempt. The income that is exempt, that will be exempt in US. And whatever income you have earned in US, that will be exempt in India. But it is separate chapter. You have to calculate. There are separate formulas. Okay, it's not that much easy. But there is one mechanism, that is DTAA. India has done so many DTAA with US, with UAE, with UK, with Fiji, with Malaysia, with Nepal, with Bhutan. So many DTAA are there. Okay, because there will be person who are earning in India and earning in outside India also. Okay, so there will be DTAA. It will be done in CA final. So right now you are just, question will not be that much complex. Okay, તમને question easy જશે કે whether he is resident or not. Okay, ચલો resident. So whether it will, this amount is taxable or not. Okay. Now, ચલો clear? ROR. હવે RNOR. Now, under section 5, subsection 1, the computation of total income of resident but not ordinarily resident is same as in the case of ROR. Same but stated above, except means This will not be covered. But except for the fact that income accruing or arising to him outside India is not to be included in total income. It means foreign income will not be part of RONOR person. Whatever received in India, whatever earned in India, that is only taxable. Not taxable, but it depends upon the residential status. Clear? However, such income is derived from a business controlled in or profession set up in India, then it must be included in the total income even though it accrues or arises outside India. Your business is set up in India, your profession is in India, but you are receiving outside India. Because of that reason, it will not be taxable. No, it will be taxable. It will be taxable in India because your business is in India or your profession is situated in India. Okay? So this is all about RNOR. RNOR, badhu taxable, but whatever received outside India, that will not be taxable. Whatever accrue outside India, that will not be taxable. Income accruing or arising to him outside India will not be taxable. Done? Last point. Non-resident. You have to read these two lines. Received, deemed to be received. Accrue or arise, deemed to be accrue or arise. In India, then it is taxable. Received, deemed to be received in India. Accrue or arise, deemed to be accrue or arise in India. Then and then only it is taxable for non-resident, otherwise not taxable. Clear? Sir, my business is set up in Japan, but I have received the money in India. So received in India, you have to pay the tax, though you are non-resident. You have received in India. But sir, my business is in Japan. Sorry, my business is in India, but I have received the income in Japan. Business, India. So accrue in India, taxable in India. So accrue or arise in India, deemed to be accrue or arise in India, then it is taxable. Clear? Devans? Then residential status, you have to check the residential status. Non-resident. So receive kya thyu? Taxable. Done? But generally non-resident person એવું કરે જ નહીં. Non-resident person visit કર્યો હોય ઇન્ડિયા માટે તો એ ત્યાં ઇન્કમ તો ત્યાં જ થાય છે. બેંક એકાઉન્ટ ક્યાં છે? ત્યાં છે. બેંક એકાઉન્ટ કોના નામનું હોય? કંપનીના નામનું. તો કંપનીનું રેસિડેન્શિયલ સ્ટેટસ જોવાનું, ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલનું ન જોવાનું. ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ તો અહીંયા જ ફરતો હોય, એને કાંઈ લેવા દેવા જ ના હોય. Are you getting this? If you are a businessman, you have separate company, separate PAN or whatever the rules and regulations of foreign country. Okay? ત્યાંનો એની પાસે legal identity હશે. So he will receive income in current account, in foreign bank. એ બધું ત્યાં જ થશે, અહીંયા કઈ થવાનું જ નથી. So
business car છે જાપાન તો ત્યાં receive થયું income તો હવે અહીંયા tax લાગશે કે અહીંયા લાગશે?
પહેલા first of all simple criteria. Accrue Japan, business India, તો taxable. India business ઇન્ડિયામાં કરે તો taxable in India, obviously. Done? Examples કરશું ઘણા બધા. We will do so many examples. Okay, so it will be clear. ચલો now ચલો chart format માં it will be very easy now. ચલો residential status and scope of total income. First one ROR. તો ROR માં બધું yes આવશે. First one yes, second yes, and third one also yes. But sir, what? Income received or deemed to be received India. This is taxable for all, whether it is ROR, RNOR or NR. બધા માટે taxable. Income accruing or arising or deemed to be accrue or arising in India, then also yes, 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 it is taxable. Now, income accruing or arising outside India. ઇન્કમ જ આઉટસાઇડ ઇન્ડિયાની છે, ધેન રેસિડેન્ટ માટે તો યસ, રેસિડેન્ટ એન્ડ ઓર્ડિનરી રેસિડેન્ટ, ઇવન ઇફ સચ ઇન્કમ ઇઝ નોટ બ્રોટ ટુ ઇન્ડિયા, ઇન્ડિયામાં આવતી જ નથી ઇન્કમ, ત્યાં બધું પતી જાય તોય ટેક્સેબલ, ઓકે. Then second point, yes, but only such income is derived from a business controlled in India or profession set up in India, and non-resident સાથે કાંઈ નિસ્બત નથી. It is not taxable for non-resident. Okay. ચલો illustration number 5. It will be clear after solving this illustration. ચલો try કરો તમે, try by yourself, then we will discuss in Excel sheet.
My company is India. Based bank account is company and so that is next department.
You have to start the question. You have to solve the question by residence state of India. You are talking about company India. It means Indian company. It means resident in India. Complete. Try to solve the illustration.
ક્વેશ્ચન સાંભળો, ઈ કે હું ડ્રગ ડીલર હોય ને ઇન્ડિયામાં આવ્યો ઈ કે આયા ઇન્ડિવિડ્યુઅલ ઈ કે આયા વેચીને ખાતાના 12 માં જમા કરાવી દીધા, મેં કોઈ ઈ કે ટેક્સ
રેસિડેન્શિયલ સ્ટેટસ શું છે?
નથી
ઈ કેવી રીતે પોસિબલ છે?
હું એનો શું ને ખાલી વેચવા આવ્યો હતો, ખાલી કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ કર્યો ખાલી દઈ ગયો
એટલે દઈ ગયો એટલે કોણ? ઇન્ડિયન સિટીઝન ને દીધું તમે? બિઝનેસ ક્યાં થયો? Accrue in India, arise in India, but you have received outside India. It means it deemed to accrue or arise in India. No, that is separate concept. For income tax point of view, all the business are taxable, whether you are doing legal or illegal. Look, that is true. For example, if one person arrested for any illegal business, then also he has to pay the income tax. Then also he has to pay the income tax. Smuggling business, narcotics, drugs, ગમે તે business કરો, tax તો pay કરવાનો. તમારો income તો અંદર જ છે. Then you have to pay the tax. It's your business, so it will be taxable in PGBP, profit and gains from business and profession. Income tax is very interesting આખું સબ્જેક્ટ છે. એ દરિયો છે, it's like ocean. તમે જેટલા ઊંડા ઉતરો એટલે ડૂબતા જ જાઓ. There is no end. આ તો હજી beginning છે, ફર્સ્ટ ચેપ્ટર જ છે રેસિડેન્શિયલ. તો પછી કોને ખબર પડવાની છે? તમે અત્યારે સેમેસ્ટર 3 માં છો. In semester 4 your last module is income tax return filing, in which it is written that you have to file your income tax return on self assessment basis. Self assessment means you have to identify what is your income and you have to assess and you have to file your return. So you have to be ethical. Ethical means you have to show all the income you have earned. Now if you are not showing your income, okay, and you are kept, you are caught by income tax officer, then you have to pay tax, you have to pay interest, you have to pay penalty. All these things will be levied. First of all, it is assessed by you and then it is assessed by your assessing officer. tax evasion.
Sir, Indian bank account account હોય તો
Sorry.
English world bank current account જે US કંપની કે ડાયરેક્ટ ટ્રાન્સફર કરજે તો tax
If it is shown, then it is taxable.
નો દેખાય નહીં.
PAN will be there, na? તમારો PAN તમારો bank સાથે link જ હોય. All the transactions are done through bank. It will be shown to income tax department. ભલે ને આઈનો તો રેસિડેન્ટ હોય એટલે PAN હોય આઈનો એની પાસે. તો પછી કેમ કંપની ઇન્ડિયન છે? what does that mean? You cannot set up a company without PAN. Okay, without PAN you can't set up even a company. So without, if you have PAN, then you are disclosed, you are open now. Even a small transaction are in radar now. For example, you have booked one gas cylinder. Now your gas cylinder you have linked your Aadhaar. Your Aadhaar is linked with PAN. So your PAN card details will be shown to income tax department. So income tax department will come to notice that on this day you have booked your gas cylinder.
તો સર આપણા નાના છોકરા જ એના પપ્પા હે ઈ સીધા મારા અકાઉન્ટ પૈસા જમા કરાવી દે.
Yes.
દેખાડે.
Look, you are talking about bank account. Bank account can't be opened without PAN. KYC details will be there. So if you are minor, now look, you are minor, okay? So your bank account will be opened by guardian. Guardian means your father. You will have PAN, okay? You will have PAN, but signature will be used. Signature will be of your father or mother. You have separate PAN, but signature will be of your. Sorry.
ધારો કે પપ્પાએ ફોનમાં કીધું કર્યું હોય તો એ પપ્પાના થ્રુ મારું તો કે
બધું થાય.
જોઈન્ટ અકાઉન્ટ
તમાર it's not like channel. You have bank account, so you have to give PAN. So your PAN number will be there, na? So your PAN number is there. So whatever transaction are done in your bank account, it will be shown. Income tax notice જ તમને આવે, but guardian માં તમારા પપ્પાનું નામ લખેલું. Clear? Chalo, give me the answer. Illustration number 5. PDF. Chalo, you know now. First of all, these 5 income, you have to calculate total income by considering the Mr. Anirudh as resident and ordinary resident first. Then you have to consider this 5 income by considering Mr. Anirudh as RNOR. And again, you have to consider the 5 income by considering Mr. Anirudh as NR. The total, first of all, resident and ordinary resident. Then what will be the situation of this 5 income? Resident but not ordinarily resident. Then what will be? Huh? Yes, you have to prepare one table. चलो पहला कर लियो and I will solve this. ચલો ફર્સ્ટ બધાએ કમ્પ્લીટ કરી લીધું હશે. short-term capital gain on sale of shares of an Indian company received in Germany, taxable for Mr. Anirudh. In all the situation, I am talking about A only. Chalo, online. Short-term capital gain on sale of shares of Indian company, taxable or not in ROR, RNOR, and NR. Okay, I got one reply from online students. You are supposed to take the printout, okay, of all the materials, PDF files I have uploaded.
Intermediate of the course are IT,
Latest. TDS કપાવે GPF, gratuity and provident fund, that we will discuss in salary. It is allowance, but it is income. It's not tax, it is allowances. It is one type of income. If obviously it is income, so you have to pay the tax. TDS is separate chapter, but in semester 4. Semester 4, chapter number 4, TDS. Hello. I got only one reply from online students. What are you doing, class? Mayank, Dhimant, Amruta, Rohin Banu, Nishtha. Whether it will be taxable or not. Short-term capital gain, Indian company received in Germany. So answer is yes, it is taxable for all the three. If whether Mr. Anirudh is resident and ordinarily resident, resident but not ordinarily resident, or non-resident, it is taxable. Why? Because shares, short-term capital gain on sale of shares of Indian company, whether it is received in Germany or not, that is not the case. It is accrued. It will be accrued in India. Now, second point, dividend.
For example, હું ગમે બીજી કન્ટ્રીનો રેસિડેન્ટ છું, મેં ઇન્ડિયન કંપનીના શેર્સ લીધા છે. તો જ્યારે હું એનું ઇન્કમ મારે આવે, તો હવે એનું શેરની જે વેલ્યુ એની ઉપર આ ટેક્સ કરે તો મારા માણસ
શેરની વેલ્યુ પર ટેક્સ ન લગાડે. કેપિટલ ગેઇન મીન્સ સેલ પ્રાઇસ માઇનસ પરચેસ પ્રાઇસ. For example, you have purchased Reliance shares rupees 1 lakh. Okay, after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you sold, and you have sold for 5 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh minus 1 lakh, remaining amount will be taxable. 4 lakh rupees will be taxable, and it's not like that only. Capital gain, you have to apply indexation also. Now, sir, what is indexation? That we will discuss in your first module, semester 4, capital gain. Clear? Chalo. Now, dividend from Japanese company and Japan. But taxable for anyone or for first situation? For second? Not taxable. Taxable. Okay. For third? Not taxable. No, I am just getting the answers. I am not giving you answer. I am getting answers from you. Taxable for Anirudh. Okay. Okay. Okay, you are talking that for two, ROR and ROR, it is taxable. Okay, Srina is saying resident, only resident and ordinary resident, it is taxable. Chalo, anyone? Okay, Devans is Okay, Devans. Okay. I know he is Devang. Okay. Okay, Dhimant is saying it is taxable for two. Look, answer given by Devans and Srina is correct. Why? It is okay. Yes, I forgot your name. Jai. Janil, yes, sorry. Janil Mirav. Janil Mirav, Devans and Srina. You all have given the correct answer. Why? Received in Japan, company is in Japan, all the things are outside India, then it is not taxable. It is not taxable. But if you are resident and ordinarily resident, then all will be taxable. Badhu taxable છે તમારા માટે. So only ROR it is taxable and rest of the two case it is not taxable. Chalo, rent received from property in London, deposited in a bank in London, later on remitted to India through approved banking channel. Okay, Devans, sorry. Janil is saying baki બે માં નહીં લાગે. Devans, પહેલામાં લાગે બાકી બે માં નહીં. Okay. ચલો. ઈશાન. Okay. Pratik. Mirav. Okay. Arjan. So all of you are correct. First ma yes, baki be ma no. Why? Property in London, received in London. You are just remitting the money. Remittance is not taxable. Okay, you are just transferring your money. Remittance means what? You are transferring your money from foreign to India. You are just remitting. Yes. Yes. But it is quite logical. You are just remitting. So it is not taxable. Okay. So, chalo, fourth point. Dividend from RP, Indian company.
હું બિઝનેસ કરું છું એટલે બાર ચાલો શું કહેવાય બારની ઇન્કમ મારે હવે અહીંયા કોક મેં મારું રિલેટિવ રાખી દીધું ઓકે અને એની બેંકમાં મારું બધું પ્રોફિટ ને બધું એમાં થાય છે હું એને ખાલી કહું મારા ટ્રાન્સફર.
ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ બિઝનેસ કોના નામે છે? તમારા. બરોબર. બિઝનેસ સેટઅપ ક્યાં છે? તું બહાર ઇન્ડિયામાં છે? Okay, outside India, બધું outside India. Okay, so you are receiving in India. So તમે resident and ordinarily resident છે ઇન્ડિયામાં તો બધું taxable છે. કંપની તમારા નામે છે તમે કયો છો એ પ્રમાણે. તો પછી ક્યાં છે? તો એને અહીંયા જ જોવાનું છે. તમે છો જ નહીં ક્યાંય. Then also, if you are receiving money, if he is relative, then it is gift income. Gift income. And if that person is your relative, then exempt. If that person is not your relative, then it is taxable. That we will discuss in income from other sources. Your second module, but semester 4. Blood relation should be there. चलो फोर्थ पॉइंट डिविडेंड बधामा टैक्सेबल. चलो राइट. चलो फिफ्थ पॉइंट एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम लैंड इन गुजरात. फरीथी फिफ्थ पॉइंट एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम इन गुजरात. Yes, very good. Agricultural income is exempt. Agricultural income is exempt, so it is not taxable. So this is your answer. That is another point. That is economics. Yes. Yes, RMC, municipality tax.
સર આ એગ્રીકલ્ચર ઇન્કમ ઉપર ન લાગે તો પછી ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ મારું ફાર્મિંગ બિઝનેસ હોય તો હવે મારી પાસે 31 એકરની જમીન છે એની પર તો લાગશે
કાંઈ નહીં. Indian Constitution એમાં લખેલું છે you cannot charge a single rupee from agricultural activity, agricultural income. જ્યારે when India was free, freedom India, એક પણ રૂપિયો નહીં લગાડવાનો, એગ્રીકલ્ચરલ ઇન્કમ ઉપર એક પણ રૂપિયો ટેક્સ નહીં લાગે એવું આપણા બાબા સાહેબ આંબેડકરજીએ કીધેલું. એટલે કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનમાં લખેલું છે, એમણે નથી કીધું. ઇટ ઇઝ રિટન ઇન કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન. એના માટે રિસ્ટ્રિક્શન્સ હોય. That is part of economics. Okay, that is not part of income tax. Why? There are certain restrictions. You cannot do agricultural activity, defense activity in India if you are non-resident person.
બીજી કન્ટ્રીઝમાં તો ઇન્ડિયન ફાર્મર
That is separate. Look, then it is taxable. That we have already discussed. It is taxable. It is taxable. If you are not doing any agricultural activity in agricultural land, so look, first of all, it is already 12:38. So please write down the enrollment number. Not only online students.
સર બહુ મોટો બંગલો છે હવે એમાં ફાર્મિંગ એ કરી લાગે
No, farming means what? Look,
હવે છે પણ ફાર્મિંગ એ કરી
you are earning something from that farming business. So taxable because it is not agricultural activity, farming. That land is not agricultural land. You are just doing farming. Obviously, there is separate criteria. We have discussed agricultural land, urban agricultural land, rural agricultural land. ચલો આજ 7 છે ને તમારા રોલ નંબર ડન.
Sir? Sir?
Yes, Amruta.
Sir, I was present in the previous session, but I could not put my enrollment number. Can you please mark my attendance for the previous session?
What's
That
your
is
enrollment number?
Accounting 8010.
Ready?
10. 8010.
I am not getting 8010. Okay.
Yes, sir.
8010. Done? I will consider it for both the sessions. Okay? Don't worry.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Reena.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, actually, in chapter 1, after the definition of income, which we did,
Ye-
sir, I just wanted to confirm that the topics like concept of income under Income Tax Act 1966 and concept of revenue and capital receipts, etc., are there in course or not?
Yes. Look, definition of income is there in our syllabus. Mid-sem 1, na? Yes, it is there. But that are miscellaneous topics. Okay. That are of no relevance. Okay. So you have to read only once. It will be there, but you have to read, but only once.
Because, sir, I was just rewatching the lectures and I just didn't found this topic, so I just wanted to confirm that it includes in course or not.
In basic concept, na?
Yes, sir. It's in chapter 1 and page number 1.26.
Okay.
Yes, sir. There are continuously 2 pages.
This is for reading purpose
1.26,
only.
1.27, then 1.28 and 1.29. All the pages was not available. You directly started with previous year and assessment year.
Yeah. This is for reading purpose only. Reena.
So, sir, no need to learn by heart means like any separate questions like 8 marks or 4 marks would be not asked,
No.
right?
This is miscellaneous concept. I have already told you.
Okay. And
4 marks, 8 marks question can't be asked from this
okay, and
because
sir,
there are
one
so
more
many
thing.
things to ask.
Okay, and sir, one more thing on page
Yes.
number 1.33.
Okay.
Yes, the certain cases when this is also not done by you, means you have not included
Certain
in the
cases
lecture.
when income of previous year will be assessed in previous year itself.
It's 1.33 and 1.34. There are only this full topic. Rest well after that you have made us do, but this full page after this page also.
Look,
Yes,
because
sir. This full page.
you don't know the concept of residential status, you don't know the concept of non-resident, so it is not convenient to do this point at that particular time, and
Okay.
it is not at all so important. That's why I have skipped this, because
Okay.
if you
Okay, sir.
read once, then
Okay.
also you
Okay,
will
sir.
be able to know that
Okay,
it
so
is
sir, I just
flexible.
wanted to confirm that we, for especially for midterm, which we are going to recently have, in
Yes.
that especially these topics would not be asked like for 4 marks or 8 marks, anything.
Yes, I will give you the important topics, okay, in next lecture.
Okay, sir. Okay, actually, sir,
From
I was
module 1
just
and module
watching
2.
the videos, so I just confirmed.
No, no, I will give you the important topics, that these are important and 4 marks, 8 marks question can be asked from these topics.
Okay, 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 sir.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Also, sir, one more question.
Yes,
Can we say that for midterm one, we are going to have the first two chapters, that is
yes,
residential status, basic
module
concepts?
1 and module 2. Module 1 basic
And
concepts and income which do not form part of total income, and module 2 residential status.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Done?
and sir, in accounting standards, only one chapter, right?
Yes, only module 1.
Okay,
Basics,
okay,
AS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you.